to get my lipstick back in order. And so if you're neurodivergent, I think these tips are going to be very helpful for you. Never, ever, ever allow yourself to shame or judge yourself for doing what you could in the moments that you could. And when you release, this notion of wanting to get everybody else's opinion, you release this ability to resist your own truth. Hi loves, I hope you guys are having an amazing, gorgeous, abundant day, and thank you so much for joining me. I'm super glad that I'm back and better than ever. And so in this video, we're going to be discussing overthinking and how you can cut that out. All right, we are tired of overthinking, controlling our lives. It's so easy to let it go, and I'm just going to show you my tips and tricks, as well as answer you guys' questions on this topic. So if you end up enjoying this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on my post notifications so you won't miss a video from me. Let's hop into it. So we are tired of overthinking ruling our lives. Oftentimes it is the one thing standing between us and the manifestations of our desires. When we allow overthinking to completely and utterly take control over us, we are doing ourselves a disservice, and it's almost like abuse, because we are allowing those thoughts to take control over our life. And overthinking is literally done by yourself and your intrusive thoughts and things that are not just in your highest alignment. And it's absolutely doable to stop those thoughts, even if you think you can't, because you have a certain physical limitation. With hard work, dedication, and practice, it can be done, but you just have to believe it to be true, because every single thing, every single limitation starts from within us. And once we allow it to be let go, we can start seeing certain signs that is going to lead us to our highest desires. We just need to release resistance, okay? And so if you're neurodivergent, I think these tips are going to be very helpful for you, because I know a lot of my clients and a lot of the people who follow me are, and I am undiagnosed as well as a neurodivergent. So I absolutely use these tips to help me along my path, and if I can do it, y'all definitely can. Like literally, I have been putting in the work for literally 30 days. I told myself I'm going to do this and see how it worked out, and it worked out really well in my favor. So I want you guys to tap into it too. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is, why are you overthinking? What is the catalyst? Why is it stopping you from living in your highest timeline? So one reason why you could be overthinking is due to anxiety, shame, fear, access of, a lot of negative things and negative energies, and it sends you on a spiral, right? And so there's a lot of ways to help with anxiety and to help with fear. And it really starts with just trusting in yourself and your capabilities. But another way that you can do so is meditation, which we're going to talk about later. But I feel like if you allow anxiety and fear to rule your life, you are doing yourself a disservice. And logically, we can think it's super hard to let it go, but when you realize just how much power you have and how much control you can take over your life, you would just not allow that to occur, and you would not allow that to happen. Very simple put. And it's really going to start with you letting go of shame around like what you have been doing that has been fostering this way of being, because at the same time you did not know how to let go of your anxiety. You did not know how to let go of fear. All you knew was how to manage it and to not let it fester and to just sit with it and be interested in it. And so don't ever, that's the first step, because that's what another place overthinking stems from, beating yourself up from the past. So never, ever allow yourself to shame or judge yourself for doing what you could in the moments that you could. Okay, you only had a limited amount of tools at your disposal. You only had a limited experience at your disposal, and you're not a bad person for doing what you could. Okay, but now you're self-aware, you're taking observation of your life, and you're ready to let it go because you're watching this video. So now you just need to start from here. Okay, stop thinking from the past, stop thinking from the future, which is what we're leading into, which is thinking about the past or thinking about the future. A lot of times our anxiety and our fear and our overthinking is borrowed from the future, because we're like, how can we pay this bill? How can we do this? How can we do that? Our responsibility as humans who are divine beings is not to figure out the how. We don't need to know. We don't need to know how we're going to get something done. We don't need to know where we're going to get something done. We just need to know that it's going to get done. And so when you tap into these energies and you tap into this mindset, it allows you to transform your life, release resistance, and just allow, the universe to bring you things that you desire. And all you need to do is set your intention. So one way you can let go of overthinking is literally staying in the present moment and letting go of anything that is going to distract you from this present moment. Because when you're here, you get to control your reality, and you get to create the life of your desires. When you're thinking of the past, you're creating another cycle that the past has influence on. When you think about the future, you're conjuring up a future you may or may not want. And so Spirit is asking you to stay here so that everything you desire and everything you want can be cultivated, okay? And it makes it even easier for you to live in your highest desires, because when you're like, you know what, I am rich right now, you get to experience living rich and full right now in this moment. So that's another tip I highly recommend for those who have that overthinking gene and you want to release it. The last thing that overthinking may take control of is projections and outward thinking, paying attention to other people besides yourself, as well as allowing those people to tell you who you are and what you want, or to distract you from your purpose. Oftentimes we'll be set in stone about something and then we go get advice from people who aren't living the life that we want or not thinking about what we desire, and we allow them to conjure up fears and anxieties and based off their living and their preferences and their morals about ourselves, that stops us from living, that stops us from moving on. And so one thing you have to learn is to trust in yourself and to let go of projections that is not going to make you excited or make you happy for what you're trying to cultivate in your life. You're the only person who's going to know what's good for you. If I want to become an entrepreneur and I have a friend who really loves 9-to-5s, right? Why would I go for that person for advice about myself? It doesn't mean they can't hear you out, right? But it just means that they may put a damper on who you are if you're not set in stone about what you want and what you desire in this realm. And you wouldn't be watching this video if you weren't set in stone, right? And so one thing you want to get used to is telling yourself, I am the operant power in my reality, and I trust in myself more than enough to make decisions and choices that is going to be based off of what I desire and what I want. That is probably one of the reasons why you overthink. And when you release, this notion of wanting to get everybody else's opinion, right? You release this ability to resist your own truth. Okay, so I highly recommend that. If you're starting to get back into who you are, you have to be selfish. You have to be arrogant almost to get what you want in this realm, and overthinking is going to be quelled when you literally listen to your truth and no one else's. Overthinking stops when you choose yourself and you choose whatever truth you want, just like everybody else around you chose a truth. Why do you think they can choose a truth but not you? Get your shit together. Come on. So now we can tap into how to overcome this energy. How can you overcome overthinking? What can you do to tap into your highest power? So the first thing you can do is get rid of shame and fear. Oftentimes that comes from trauma from the past, that comes from other people's projections. And so one thing you're going to want to do is detach from certain people, places, and things that are not in your highest alignment. I have an ebook called The Art of Letting Go that teaches all about detachment. Highly recommend you guys tap into it. And I recently had a $5 ebook sale. I may give you guys a code so you can get it for $5 too, but just let me know. I'll let you know in the comments down below if I do it. But I highly recommend you start detaching from people, places, and things so you can live in your highest alignment. Another way you can get rid of shame and fear is through shadow work and releasing that energy, releasing those emotions so you can make space for, success, wealth, and abundance, and from openness and receptivity rather than fear, shame, or judgment, okay? You got to stop thinking about yourself in a certain way that's going to cultivate that. Stop punishing yourself. I talked about this on TikTok. The more that you punish yourself is the more that guilt and shame is going to come up, and that's going to allow you to overthink, because no one else can tell you what you need to do besides you. They can say it, but you have to make sure you don't continuously punish yourself for a mistake you no longer will commit. And I feel like there's a lot of people who needs to do that. So next thing you want to do is meditate every day. When you meditate every day, you allow yourself to clear your mind, tap into your soul, and remain present in your body. I was teaching this workshop that is going to be available very soon for those who want to take it themselves. But when you meditate every single day for at least 10 minutes on whatever chakra point or chakra you want to work on, it allows you to center yourself, ground yourself, and start trusting in yourself more. The beings that I'm working with in this meditation have been telling me about how they feel more calm throughout the day, how they feel more peaceful, how they feel more in tune with themselves, simply because they allow themselves to sit and think about themselves in ways that are beneficial, as well as overcome a lot of fear, shame, and judgment about who they are, finding guidance within themselves and utilizing it to the best of their abilities. So I highly recommend meditation every single day, whether it's sleep meditation, you falling asleep to a healing frequency, or you get up for 10 minutes and you just pay attention and you be disciplined. You're going to see a transformation. You're going to see a change. You won't not be able to see that. You see what I'm saying? So another thing that I highly recommend is getting out of your head and tapping into the present moment. We talked about this earlier in the video. And so when you do that, when you tap into the present moment and getting out of your head, you allow overthinking to cease, because you need your thoughts to overthink. So ask yourself, how can I be right here in this moment? How can I pay attention to the things around me and utilize it to my best abilities instead of being up here all the time? It's going to be so helpful and beneficial for your success story. Another thing is affirming your reality. This is going to be helpful in ceasing your overthinking, because now your thoughts are going to be clouded with what you desire. And so one way you can do this is a saturation session, whether you do it through visualization, affirmation, scripting, subliminals, which I like to do subliminals, which is essentially just videos or like tapes where the person creates a whole ass affirmations, but you can't hear it, but your subconscious can hear it. And so when you fall asleep to it, or you just listen to it throughout the day and just allow your subconscious to be bombarded with those affirmations, you create a new story for yourself that the conscious version of you cannot contradict. But you still have to make sure you're not wavering consciously. And so those moments when you're not listening to the subliminals, you got to tell yourself, hey, this is who I am. This is who I am. So one affirmation I would recommend for you guys is, I am no longer an overthinker. I trust in my abilities to cultivate the life of my desires. Say that affirmation as many times as you need to throughout the day. If you want to do a little subliminal about it, search up a subliminal that helps you cease overthinking. And you're going to see a change. Like, I'm telling you, do it for 30 days, you're going to see something. Another thing is shifting your mindset. That's going to be extremely beneficial for your success story, especially when it comes to overthinking. The only reason why you overthink is, I thought I saw a cat here. You overthink is because your mind says you are, and you're allowing a lot of thoughts being bombarded into your head, as well as not taking the time to sit with your thoughts and to have them have fun when you go throughout the day, right? So really tap into shifting your mindset to see how you can transform your life. And so one journal prompt I have for you, for those who are ready to shift their mindset, is, how can I embody the being of my desires? And then after you answer that question, embody that being. Oftentimes people just answer the questions and move on. No, you answer the question and then you embody, and you're going to see how your life transforms. Lastly is letting go of the how and trusting in yourself. And so another thing that allows us to overthink is because we are always trying to figure out things and find a solution, when the universe is going to give us the solutions. All we need to do is set the intention so it can come in, or we can jump into that solution, right? So never feel overwhelmed when things seem worrying or things seem like they're getting out of hand, because if you trust in yourself and you trust in the divine, everything is going to be okay all the freaking time, and you're going to start seeing it. And if you find yourself questioning if things are going to be fine, go to the past and be like, oh, you remember that time where I thought things weren't going to be real, but in fact it was? And you conjure that up, and then you make sure you keep it up. You don't waver. That's another thing that is going to be beneficial for your success story. So the next topic we're going to be talking about is why you may be letting it control you, right? So there's a number of reasons why overthinking can control you. One is because you're letting it. Yeah. A lot of people don't like to hear that they're the reason why certain things happen, specifically about certain situations. Like, there are stuff that you're clearly not at the fault for, but there are stuff that you are at the fault for. And it doesn't mean that it's bad for you to be at fault for it. It now means, oh, I can transform it. I can change it. At least that's how I looked at it. When I realized that I was the reason why I keep engaging in certain cycles and habits nobody outside of me was, I was like, oh, well, let me change that shit. I didn't beat myself up about it because why? I already did it. It's in the past. I just need to start looking towards the present and the future. So another thing, one of the reasons why you may be fearful or why this may be controlling you is because you have a fear of the self and how far you can go. Oftentimes people don't like to see themselves successful because they're like, can I handle this? Right? I couldn't handle it before, or I feel like I'm not in a place where I could handle success, because they have this notion of success in their head. And Spirit is saying you can conjure up that being and put them right there in the physical. All you need to do is think in your highest alignment and affirm and affirm and affirm, and you're going to see a transformation. And so yes, you can handle success. Yes, you can handle releasing and letting go overthinking, because the more you do so is the more you're trusting in yourself. Like, you can't stop overthinking without trust and without intention and without knowing who you are and your authenticity and your truth. At the end of the day, you always have to think in your highest alignment. You always have to think in your truth. And so when you think in your highest alignment and you think in your highest truth, everything is going to come together for your benefit and your highest cause. So never be afraid of saying how far I would go and answering with very, very fucking far, because you will be going far. All right. So get out of fearing yourself and saying, I don't know how to be authentic. The way you're authentic is by choosing an authenticity. You have to choose something. Like, you can literally be born into a very unstable household, a toxic household, a household where you're not able to choose and transform yourself. And then when you grow up, you get to choose, okay? Because you get to choose who you get to be. You're literally creating your avatar. And that avatar is going to be whatever you desire it to be. And you get to change throughout life. You get to grow. You get to conjure up new beings. And so tap into that energy, tap into that essence, and see how far you get to go. Another thing that may have overthinking control you, because you're in survival mode. And I absolutely get that. I used to be in survival mode as well. And through that healing and that shadow work and releasing and letting go, which you guys can watch on my channel, I have a lot of videos about it. I was able to break free of survival mode. The way you break free of survival mode is tapping into abundance and constantly telling yourself you're an abundant being, and that abundance comes to you with quick and easy. Whatever is putting you in survival mode, say the opposite or affirm the opposite of it so that it can come into your life, right? The abundance can come into your life. And that's how you get out of survival mode. And then lastly, freedom of expression. You may be afraid to express your freedom and express yourself. And so one thing Spirit asks us is allow yourself to make mistakes, to open up and to figure out who you are as you live life. You're human. That is what you're supposed to do. You're not meant to make things a habit, right? You're not meant to constantly be in a cycle of, oh, I want to go back to overthinking. No, you want to make a decision and stand on it for the rest of the time, okay? And the way you do that is thinking about how, you letting go of overthinking is going to be a lifestyle change rather than a moment. When you put yourself or you set yourself up for this ideology that later on down the line you're going to overthink again, you're creating resistance and you're putting yourself in a mindset where overthinking can come back into your life. But you don't want to do that, because once again, everything happens in this present moment. So how you feel right now, which is I'm going to let go of overthinking, is going to be your eternity, and you keep it there. That's how you do it. That's how you free yourself. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I really hope this helped you with overthinking and recognizing how you can release it to be in your highest alignment. Let me know down in the comments below what part of this video really resonated with you and helped you to kind of understand overthinking in a better way, and how you're going to finally release it in the best way that it's going to be beneficial for you. If you guys want more videos like these, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, turn on my post notifications so you won't miss a video from me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, loves.